Hello everyone, this is Madness, and this is my second CA versus the World video. It happens to be another Fall of the Samurai team match. It was played on Friday, the 8th of March, and it is a classic 3v3. I am playing as the Obama faction. It's a 10k match on rice fields. My army consists of 4 Shogun Guard Infantry, 1 Bokachi for the increased range, because I didn't want to invest too much money into sharpshooters when my opponent could in theory just rush me. I have 3 Yariki, 1 Shogun Guard Cav, 1 Saber Cav, and a modernized general. On my right flank we have Simon as the Saga. He's brought a bunch of different gun units, ranging from elites to matchlock Kachi, some melee cav, as well as a gun cav, an Imperial Guard cav, and a modernized general. He's also got 2 Shogutai for melee, so he's bringing a very balanced army. And on the extreme right, we have CA Peter, who's bringing a mix of spears, guns, and cav, along with a Gatling gun, which is very interesting, and which is going to put him at a bit of a funds disadvantage against his opponent, which is why Simon is going to stick on his side to protect him. On our opponent's side we have CA Tim as Tosa, with a mix of spears, lines, and Tosa riflemen. Shaman as Tosa, with a mix of gun cav, elites, and some spears to back them up against cav. And we have CA Dario with a very interesting army consisting of very low quality units, white tigers, even wooden cannons. He's got matchlocks, he's got katana kachi instead of shogutai, and boki as his cav component, but no melee cav as far as I know, which is going to be very interesting with the low morale and low stats that most of his units tends to have. So let's get into the battle and see what happens. So right away I'm going to be moving my cav over to the right because of Simon's remark that we should be protecting the Gatling gun, and I'm going to be watching over it, or at least I was planning to watch over it for now, but when I see this giant force of the Aizu faction coming my way, I'm going to be changing my mind and sending them that way. But let's just look at the skirmish here for now, as long as nothing's happening on my side. Yeah, so we're giving up the shrine, the sword dojo, excuse me. But luckily, since most of our units are gun units, it's not going to matter all that much. So, Simon and Shaman are going to engage shortly. And Simon is going to use his numbers to his advantage because he's brought a mixed quality build. As you can see, his matchlock Hachi is being used as a kind of meat shield for his elites. And he's sending cav in to tie down Shaman's elites, which will allow him to break through this center here. While he's doing that, Dario is attacking me, and I'm throwing down suppression fire as well as kneel fire, and this is going to create a constant wall of fire going into his units, including his general. Those are doing their share, even though it's not much. And I'm sitting in my cav to protect myself from units rushing in, because this is looking like the White Tigers are actually protecting the Kitanakachi who are trying to get to my lines, who are stopping now for some reason. And I'm really showing this not because it was super high level, it was actually just very fun to watch. There we go, my Cav is holding his units, my Saber Cav is getting rid of his Boki. The center has been broken, but Shaman is still in the game. And more quickly than I had anticipated, I am now going to chase down the remaining units of Dario. And cap the workshop when I'm done. Gotta love the wooden cannons. How many kills do you guys have? 4 and 3. What do wooden cannons cost? 500 koku? I don't know, but that's a lot of money down the drain. Going to chase those off the field. Meanwhile, our outmatched in terms of funds ally Peter is getting slowly but surely beaten. And even though it looks like he could be able to hold, his units will just chain around at this point. Even though all they face is spears, and well, okay, they do have a Royal Marine on this side. Oh yes, and these are White Tigers, Black Tauruses. They have terrible morale. But Simon is mostly done in his part of the battlefield, and he's going to move over and put pressure on these remaining Tosa units. And Tim's flank. That's a nice charge from a Carbine Cav. Sorry, Imperial Guard Cav. That's what happens when you don't have melee Cav of your own. Gun Cav can actually do some damage to infantry and melee. Always bring some melee Cav. And there we go, another volley with suppression fire. 112 reload. Royal Marines getting shredded. So yeah, Peter's off the field. But we are still in a good position because both of us wrapped up our opponents very nicely. Us is Simon and me. Sandwiching this little line unit here. And I'm going to go after his general. And we'll try to coordinate it so he can't hide behind his spear levy. We'll see how well that goes. So all of our units are now moving into position to surround this blob of Tosa units. And I'm just gonna show you what happens with this general. Funny little game we're playing. Unfortunately, he's gonna get away because he's got too many spear units nearby. Where? Yeah, we now have. How many dojos do we have? Okay, this isn't owned by anybody. I'm capping this one, so we got 3 dojos right now. But we'll get another, and the farmhouse doesn't matter all that much in the gunfight. So we're getting in position, and you can pretty much guess what's gonna happen right now. I guess I better have shown the other side. This is just ridiculous slaughter, but yeah. This is what happens when you're not prepared to face the army you're facing. Especially when you're facing elites who cannot be matched one-on-one by any of these units. Granted though, Dario's mass suicide at the beginning pretty much limited their ability to do anything about this. And there we go, we won. I hope you enjoyed the close-ups, and I'm gonna splice in the stats. See you in a minute. So here we are on the stat screen, and as you can see, due to massively slaughtering 2 armies after one after the other, I got a pretty insane kill-death ratio in this one. 2,274 killed, 322 lost. So yeah, I killed about 7 of them for everyone I lost, which is pretty awesome, in my opinion. Simon basically sacrificed his whole army in order to take out his opponent, which he managed to do. And that's part of the reason we had such an easy time winning the battle in the end. Peter pretty much got routed off the field. That's what happens when you bring low-level units like that, and a few of them start to break. You just can't really make up for it morale-wise, and you chain route, and that's what happened to him. So he lost most of his guys, but only killed 400 of his opponent. On the other side, we obviously have exact opposite numbers. Dario's is especially interesting, as was to be feared when he brought his White Tiger spam mixed with a lot of very vulnerable units like Boki without backup from melee cav. It was really easy for me to take out all of those units and stop his rushing attempts. So yeah, that's how he got to these glorious 165 kills with almost 1700 losses. Yeah, I don't need to say anything else to that. Shaman did well, obviously, but still got taken out by Simon. And yeah, he just couldn't really help it. He was facing one of the best players in the game, and his ally to the right got completely destroyed, so it's not really something to blame on him. And Luke, yeah, it was actually CA Luke, not CA Tim. Apologies. He did what I actually would have expected him to anyway. Break through the low-level units, which were boxed up nicely to shoot at him. Not spread out as you would like to. And yeah, apparently the Gatling gun didn't do didn't do much good for Peter, so he didn't do that well. And as far as individual units are concerned, you can see this is again very enjoyable for me. 400 kills on my Yariki, 300, and yeah, just almost every unit got an insane amount. $449, not too bad either. But as you have seen, I didn't upload this battle to show you how awesome I was taking out these poor little white tigers and Katanakachi and Boki and Kyoto Police. It was mostly for the cinematic value and just sharing the insane KD, because you barely ever see that happen, even though the circumstances pretty much explain it easily. Yeah, so anyway, this is the last CA vs. the World match that I'm showing you for now, and maybe they'll do some more events like this in the future, and if they do, I'm certainly gonna bring you more. But for now, this will have to do, and next up is going to be another roundtable discussion regarding our thoughts on Rome 2, and what we expect to see from the game, what we hope to see from the game. And I hope you'll be joining us there again, so I'll see you next time.